I didn't know I could get pregnant. I was only 13 and had not yet begun menstruating. My mother told me I would not see my menses until I was 17 or 18 years old. So I was surprised when I found out I was pregnant. Meet my auntie. Her name is Guluba. That is her story. Today, Guluba has 4 children. Her first son is the one in the blue. He's 27 and she's almost 40. She's unemployed and a struggling single mother. Somewhere in Burundi, a young lady who has had to have an illegal abortion 4 times says, "Some days I think of how I could have avoided getting pregnant again and again, if only I had the information and the means necessary to protect myself." In Myanmar, a 21-year-old HIV-positive youth says, "If I had known about safe sex during my teens, my life would never have turned out this way." What do these young people and my auntie have in common? They lacked the information that they needed to make safe decisions about their sexual and reproductive health. And this is why I am passionate about comprehensive sexuality education. So, what is comprehensive sexuality education? According to Dr. Natalia Kanem, who is the executive director of UNFPA, comprehensive sexuality education gives young people tools they need to have healthy lives and relationships. It helps them navigate life-changing decisions about their sexual and reproductive health. Girls need this information. So let's put this in perspective. Globally, every year, there are 430,000 new HIV infections among young people aged 15 to 24. Young women remain heavily affected. Also, complications from pregnancy and childbirth are the leading cause of death for 15 to 19-year-olds globally. Every year, 3.9 million girls aged 15 to 19 undergo unsafe abortions. And we all know that over 130 million girls around the world are out of school. How does CSE address these issues? Simply put, CSE educates, empowers, and protects girls. Many of us have assumptions about what CSE teaches. And this is a slide that shows the different subjects that are covered. It teaches young people about relationships, about values, rights, understanding sexuality, just simply understanding how your body works. And CSE provides life skills for health and well-being. So let's go around the world and see what is being done to advance sexuality education. In 2008, 30 ministers of health and 26 ministers of education from Latin America and the Caribbean made a regional commitment to sexuality education. In 2013, ministers of health and education from 20 countries in Eastern and Southern Africa made a regional commitment also to comprehensive sexuality education. Presently, consultations are being made in West and Central Africa. Let me take you to Nigeria and talk about, okay, before I get to Nigeria, let me highlight some of the successes that comprehensive sexuality education has gained. Research has shown that CSE contributes to delayed initiation of sexual intercourse, decreased frequency of sexual intercourse, decreased number of sexual partners, reduced risk-taking, and increased use of condoms and contraceptives. There is no evidence that CSE increases sexual activity or risk behavior or rates of HIV or other STIs. And school-based CSE curriculum is a cost-effective intervention to contribute to HIV prevention. CSE is one way that we can address many of the Sustainable Development Goals. So now, in Nigeria, my organization, Strong Enough Girls Empowerment Initiative, is presently implementing the Our Rights, Our Lives, Our Future project, which is funded by UNESCO, simply to scale up CSE implementation in Nigeria and around sub-Saharan Africa. In the images, you can see my colleagues conducting an in-school outreach and out-of-school outreach because we have to meet young people wherever they are. So these are 2 success stories from our project. A young lady says, "The project has helped me make good decisions for myself. I had a baby and was living with a man who denied me education. I am no longer with him because I learned a lot about human rights and I desire to go to school." A mother who sat in on one of the sessions says, "When I attended the program, I was impressed. They're not teaching young people how to have sex. They're teaching them how to take care of themselves." These are a couple of success stories thus far. So, in conclusion, I want to remind all of us that education remains a basic human right, and it's the foundation on which to build peace and drive sustainable development. With CSE, that is Comprehensive Sexuality Education, no girl or woman will ever have to say, "I wish I had known." Thank you very much for listening.